Okay, so this is the infamous Weber fuel pressure regulator in a Ferrari F40. We are testing it now with a combination of intake manifold pressure and fuel pump pressure delivered from a standard F40 fuel pump on real gasoline. Good idea to do that. So the function of this fuel pressure regulator is to vary the pressure in the fuel rail according to the load on the engine. So we want a little bit more pressure when there's demand for more fuel. And the way that it does that is a little convoluted, and I'm going to have Matt here help us explain exactly the difference. But for starters, we had to verify that we had a fuel pump that was putting out the same pressure as a standard F40. This is actually a CIS fuel injection pump, but it is variable by voltage, so we can change and get this to act exactly like an F40 fuel pump. And we can show that that is the case because our pressure gauge, when we turn on the power...
Yeah, so we actually have this only running at about 9.5 volts, which is what gives us the 6 bar of pressure that we're looking for, which is right about there, 87 psi roughly.
Okay, so now we know that we have duplicated the fuel pressure of an F40 fuel pump, and now we're about to regulate that pressure and make an adjustment with an Allen wrench to prove that that we are changing the pressure in the fuel rail according to the intake manifold pressure. So Matt, if you will show us really quickly how to adjust the pressure regulator.
You can adjust it by tightening the screw here. You can see right now we're at about 40.5 psi, maybe 41, and we need to get that up to about 43.5. So I'm just going to tighten this down, and you'll see it will increase as I do that. There it is, just over 42. We want it just under that 44 tick there, and I'd say that's pretty good.
Great. Okay. Now, actually, maintaining fuel pressure in the rail has to do with the difference between the manifold pressure and the gauge reading here. Go ahead and put about 10 psi, 10 inches of mercury in this and explain what we're doing.
I'm actually going to put about 22 inches of mercury on here because that's an easy number to see the difference. So now we're at about 20, which is approximately 10 psi, and you can see that the pressure here has reduced by about 10 psi, which means it's working correctly.
Yes, so we do have a variable pressure to the fuel rail according to load, and confirmed with the fuel pump that we have the correct pressure as a normal F40 pump, and indicated the correct reading on the gauge. So we have successfully put a new diaphragm, actually it's a pair of diaphragms, laminated against each other into this pressure regulator by opening the crimp seam, taking out the original diaphragm, which was leaking. And by the way, it was leaking as noted by the technician as gasoline coming out into the vacuum tube. There should never be any gas in the upper portion of the chamber here. All gasoline is in the lower chamber. And so it had a ruptured diaphragm. We fixed that. And we've also fixed that diaphragm by retaining it with a spring-loaded type of retainer so that it will automatically compensate for the shrinkage of the diaphragm. So this is actually far better than it was anew. We've also sealed this vacuum adjustment plug with a very special material typically used in carburation that you'll allow to dry on threads, and it makes a perfect seal. So looks like we've got this one going. We're just going to test the other regulator and get it adjusted and then ship these babies out. Thank you for your time.